Do you think anybody who was a real gangster, a contract killer, a murderer, could ever totally transform his life and be a very calm, peaceful family man, law-abiding citizen? You think that's possible? We're going to check it out in A History of Violence. Hey everyone, welcome to another sit down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well. All is okay on this end, thank you. And hey, 2022, we made it. I know a lot of people are glad to see 2021 in their rear view mirror. Quite honestly, it was a little bit of a rough year for me and my family, but here we are and we look ahead to a good 22. Hope the same for all of you out there. So today is Mob Movie Monday. It's a film that I had never seen before. Somebody told me about it. Oddly enough, I've never seen it. Decided to watch it, and I thought it was a good film to review. A History of Violence. It had a great cast: Viggo Mortensen, Maria Bello, William Hurt, and Ed Harris. Great cast, and I think William Hurt was actually nominated for Best Supporting Actor in that film, even though he didn't have a huge role. But he's always great. I'm going to warn people, especially the ladies, it's a bit violent, it's a bit graphic, that's just the way it is, A History of Violence, I guess you can tell from the title. I wanted to review this because there's some questions in this film. I can relate to it. It's about a guy who was a mobster who transformed his life. Obviously, many of you know my story. You know, that was my past, and I like to think that I was transformed through Jesus Christ. I am a Christian, and I give him all the credit for that. But there's some interesting questions in this film that I want to bring up. But first, let me get to the film itself. Very, very well done. Interestingly enough, too, I think this was the last big Hollywood film that went to VHS. You young people, you don't know what that is anymore since everything is digital, but it was a platform that we used to see films on. The last film to go to VHS. So, how does it begin? Viggo Mortensen's really the star of the film, and he plays a character of Tom Stall. He lives in a fictional town in Indiana, small town, and he owns a diner. He happens to be going to work. He's a very mild-mannered guy, you know, very quiet seems, just a nice guy. And he goes to work one night, and two guys come in, and they're looking for trouble. And they hold up the place, and one guy gets a little bit out of hand, a lot out of hand, I should say, and he starts roughing up one of the waitresses, I believe. He's got a gun on him. He's going to stick everybody up. We see Viggo Mortensen there. He looks a little bit concerned. He looks scared, you know. Then all of a sudden, boom, he goes into action. I think he throws coffee in one of their faces, takes the gun, and very efficiently kills both of them. And people are kind of like surprised that he was able to do something like that. This is mild-mannered Tom Stall all of a sudden springing into action and being a very efficient killer. Killed these two guys. So obviously the cops come down, they review the whole scene, and all of a sudden he becomes a celebrity in the town. Wow, he got these two guys and he killed them and he saved his diner and he saved the lives of the people in there. He's a hero in a small town, right? And that's how it's going. And then a little bit down the road, we see some people stalking him in a black car. And right away you figure there's something shady going on. Long story short, these people are from his hometown in Philadelphia. They're gangster type of guys. And this is who Ed Harris is. The reason they come to see Tom is because they're calling him Joey Cusack, and they're saying, we know who you are, come back to Philadelphia with us, we have a score to settle. Basically, that's it. And Tom keeps denying that. He said, I don't know who you're talking about. My name is Tom Stall. This is my town. And he plays dumb like he doesn't know anything he's talking about. We noticed that Ed Harris has a deformity in his face. Something had happened. I don't know exactly what happened, but you can see he's all scarred up. But they don't give up. They kept saying, come on, you know, we know who you are, Joey. You're coming back with us, and that's it. And then something happens. His son, I think his name is Jack, gets into an incident in school where he uses violence. I think a bully was coming after him, and he fights back. Tom is mad at him for that. Why did you do that? Jack shoots back, well, look what you did. You killed a couple of guys. And anyway, the father gets mad. Tom gets mad at him. I think he smacks him or whatever. and Jack runs away, right? Next scene is we see Jack in the car, again with Ed Harris and the other two goons that are with him, and they come right up to Tom's house, and they got Jack. And this time, Carl, Ed Harris, is saying, Joey, you're coming back with us. We got your son, you're coming back with us. So he says, okay, release my son and I'll come back. So he knew that if he got in that car, he was dead. So basically, a scene occurs where he kills the two guys, and then he kills Carl. Now he kills all three. His wife is watching this, the son is seeing this. But in the interim, Tom gets shot too, so now they got to go to the hospital. And when they're in the hospital, Edie is like, hey, what's up, man? You know, we saw how efficiently you went after these two guys. Is there some truth to it? There is a scene when the sheriff, Sam, comes to visit Edie and Tom and tells them, listen, these guys came from Philadelphia. They don't make mistakes. You know, Tom, they're saying that you're somebody else. You're this guy, Joey Cusack. Why would they be saying this? And you know that Edie, his wife now, Maria Bello, is starting to question him, but she stands up and says, no, my husband is who he says he is. But you can see that there's some tension there, and things are starting to go south for Tom and his family. All right, so now they get home from the hospital, and Edie is having no more of it. She says, you know, you lied to me. You never told me the truth. These guys wouldn't be mistaken. They get into an argument. She starts hitting him. He hits her back. They go back and forth. They're, you know, getting violent with one another, and it ends up in them having sex together, crazy sex. So that's what happens. So Tom receives a call from his brother back in Philadelphia. And basically, Tom realizes that if he doesn't go back to Philadelphia, try to settle this, that they're going to come for him and maybe kill him and his family. He goes back to Philadelphia, and we see him sitting with his brother, and his brother is William Hurt. Basically, what happened is, he admits it, this is Joey Cusack. He was a gangster, a very efficient killer at some point in time, but he had left that life. It was 14 years that he was with his wife. And his brother is upset with him. He says, you know, you infringed on these other mob guys. You beat up this guy, I think Carl, the one with the scarred face. He said, and they took it out on me. He said, I can't advance in the life. They're taking more money from me. So basically, you ruined my life. And William Hurt is now very upset. He's got two goons in his office standing behind Tom. Basically, what he does, he orders these two goons to kill Tom. Well, Tom is now Joey, very efficient again. He kills everybody in the house, goes through it. And then he goes after his brother, shoots his brother in the head. That's it. So now he's got to return home. He returns home, and there is a scene at the end where he's sitting with his family. Everything is quiet. They kind of ignore him a little bit. And then his little daughter starts to give him some food, and you can see things lightening up a little bit. And that's how it ends. And obviously, I went through it fast. I summed it up. I really think you should watch it. I mean, I think it was a good film in that regard. But here's some of the questions that I have. You know, and I want you to help me out on this. When I walked away from that life, I tried to transform myself. I always say, you know, you can take the boy out of Brooklyn, but you can't completely take Brooklyn out of the boy. And I've tried to change my attitude and my thinking about a lot of things. I don't react the same way to certain things like I would have when I was in that life. I'm not as aggressive, I think. I'm still who I am. I know what I'm still capable of, but I don't want to act in that way. And I think Tom made such a complete transformation in this thing where he was a violent killer, a gangster, as Sammy would say, and then completely turned it around and became this mild-mannered guy. And my question, can you really do that? I mean, I don't know if I can change that completely from who I was. You know, I mean, I'm a person of faith now, and I think about things differently, and I have a different approach to life, but inside, I'm kind of the same person. Now, when you do come to Christ, you know, you're a new creation. So in that regard, yes. But as far as me, my mentality, I don't know. You know, there's times when I can be that other guy again. Anybody ever have that experience where you were part of something at one time and then you had to make a transformation? You know, it doesn't only have to be that you were a gangster or a criminal or a mobster. You might have been anything in your life, and then you realized, hey, that's the wrong thing. And so you completely transform yourself. I mean, he was a totally different character in this movie than what he was before. I mean, from killer to basically really nice, calm, quiet guy. Can you really make a transformation like that? Question, you know, I'd love to see what your comments are. Next, his family was very upset with him, very upset because his wife believed that, you know, he wasn't the person that she believed she was marrying, you know, that he lied to her. Now, my question is, should Tom have sat down and told her, listen, You know, this is who I was. I was a hitman. I was a former gangster. Should he have sat down and told her that? Now, I'm going to be honest. If that were me, I don't think I would have. I mean, if I'm transforming my life and leaving that behind, why do I want to share the darkness? Why do I want to share something that I'm trying to escape from with the person that I'm going to marry? I don't know that I would have. So there could be mixed thoughts on this. Some people say, well, that was wrong of him because she was marrying somebody that really wasn't the person that she was marrying. He wasn't Tom Stahl. Even though he was trying to act like Tom Stahl, he was changing his life around. For whatever reason, he had left that life. So she could be upset with him and say, you know, you lied to me. I didn't marry the person I thought I was marrying. You hid that from me, and that's not right. I don't know. And the other way to look at it is, well, why would you want to sit down and talk about, you know, something that you're trying to escape? And if you really believe that you can escape this, that you can change your character. I mean, look, they were married for 14 years. He was a nice guy. They were a regular family. So he really did make that effort, and he was successful. Unfortunately, your past always seems to catch up with you. Always. So, you know, in that regard, it's a tough call. Should he have leveled with her? You know, I'd love to hear what, you know, some of the ladies that are watching, you know, we have a bigger male audience, but some of the women that are watching, I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. And you guys too. It's something that I've thought about quite a bit as I watched the film. You know, how would I have reacted? So, anyway, that's it. You know, good film. Again, a history of violence. Again, the warning, you know, it is pretty graphic. If you're going to tune in, you might be able to get it on YouTube. You'll get it anywhere. I'm sure it's been around for a while. That's it for today. Listen, 2022, all I can tell you is I wish you all the best for this year. Hopefully, some of these restrictions that we're under are going to let up. You know, people, I don't know about any of you. I don't know who to believe or what to believe anymore. I really don't. For me, you know, it seems that, you know, that this COVID, we understand it's here. We do, you know, this new Omicron, you know, fortunately it's not deadly. Maybe it's just like the flu. I don't know. But the restrictions that they're trying to put on, I mean, they're destroying people in New York. They really are. They're destroying businesses. You know, a lot of these cities around the country, LA is getting hurt. San Francisco is a disaster. It's just terrible what's going on. Chicago, the same thing. So I really hope that our leaders find something here and they're able to relax this situation in 22 so we can get back to what normal life in America really is. It's not the way it is right now. So we'll see. But that's it. How do I always leave you? Same way. Be safe. Be healthy. Happy New Year to everybody. We're in the beginning stages. And as always, God bless you, and I will see you next time.